वक्रतुण्ड महाकायः सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा.
My name is Jimmy Tunstall, and I am a person in long-term recovery. I now work as a substance abuse counselor, and I work primarily with people in all stages of addiction and recovery. I'm also certified in dialectical behavior therapy, so I do a lot of work with people who have difficulty managing really difficult emotions, and a large part of that is mindfulness.
सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु महि देव.
I was introduced to mindfulness through refuge recovery, through some friends who kind of got me into the group setting of meditation. And when I first tried to meditate, it was, my thoughts were zooming. My mind would not be quiet. I didn't feel like I was good at it. And the more I explored it, the more I realized that mindfulness is about an awareness of thought. It's about being present with your thoughts. And it's also helped me to understand that my emotions are not my reality. If I feel pain, if I feel fear or anger, those aren't necessarily good or bad, you know. They just are. And with that kind of mindset, it's helped me to be able to know that it's temporary, to know that it's impermanent, to understand that everything changes, everything is in a state of transiency. And when I realize this, if I'm going through a difficult period, emotionally, bringing myself back to the present and having that awareness has helped me get through cravings for drugs. It's helped me get through relationship issues. It's helped me in the entire framework of my life. You know, it's an entirely different thought process for me.
I have a lot of anxiety, and the meditation has helped me deal with that, because I've become aware of my anxiousness, and I know that it's just a fleeting thing. So I've actually, when I've been kind of super anxious, taken time and meditated, and like it went away. Part of the reason I relapsed was I got really tired of just 12-step meetings. And I know there are other paths to recovery, but that was the only one I was really ever exposed to. And then my friend Jimmy T began a refuge recovery meeting in Winston-Salem. And he's been a friend of mine in recovery since 2009, so a long time. And he has started meditating as well, like a while before I did. And I noticed a change in him. I tried it out, and I was pretty much in love, because it's just a beautiful way to expand my recovery process, and to help me focus on myself, my mind, and make meditation a regular part of my healing process.
What I noticed in the very beginning was that the anxiety decreased. Nothing else, I did not experience anything else other than I noticed that after 5 minutes of sitting still and focusing on my breathing, that my anxiety was better. And so I was sold right then and there on this idea of getting still.
Well, everybody find a comfortable place.
When we practice mindfulness, we practice present time awareness, focusing in on our breathing, noticing the sensations of the breath, noticing the sounds around us, the thoughts that are passing by, the feelings that may come up. Mindfulness is simply about being aware of what is going on right in this moment, not in the past, not in the future. Our minds absolutely wander, and so we simply notice when they've wandered and we bring it back to the present moment. So we're talking about mindfulness, and we are talking about this is the foundational component for all of the DBT modules. So we break us down into two sets of skills. And remember, these are all acceptance skills. So we're breaking it down into the what skills and the how skills. So the what skills are what we do. And what we do is we observe. We observe our thoughts, our feelings, our physical sensations. We observe what's going on around us. So we're observing the external and the internal. How we do it is really, really important. And I'll tell you, I think that the non-judgmental piece is one of the most challenging skills to learn in DBT. So non-judgmentally means that we're getting away from good and bad, right and wrong. We are looking at the facts. We are not shaming ourselves for feeling a certain way or blaming ourselves for feeling a certain way. We are, we're working on just observing and noticing what things are like in this moment, non-judgmentally. Dialectical behavior therapy was created by Dr. Marsha Linehan, PhD. The core foundational skills for all of DBT are mindfulness skills. We teach clients to observe and describe their thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, and experiences in a non-judgmental way.
My name is Jennifer Cobb, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, certified in dialectical behavior therapy. So really focus on working with folks who have that kind of what I would call pervasive emotion dysregulation. So a lot of trouble, significant trouble regulating emotion or even experiencing emotion. And then most times trauma comes in there somewhere. So they've had usually a big history of trauma. I do teach mindfulness to my clients. And I find that for a lot of folks, it's challenging. And I think it's challenging for a lot of different reasons. I think it's challenging, one, because it seems like this complicated idea. And I think a lot of people try to make it harder than it is. And, again, for a lot of folks that I work with, they've spent a lot of years, with good reason, trying to disconnect from their body. So we usually start small, or I don't know if it's small. We usually start with, can you pay attention? Can you just notice your toe? Where is your toe in relation to the rest of your body? Can you just put your attention on your toe? I hear people all the time, I just can't get my head to be quiet. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, let's not worry about getting our head to be quiet. Let's put our attention and our effort somewhere else. Yeah, so how can mindfulness and meditation help with treating folks? And I for me, mindfulness just provides folks an opportunity to be able to get space from what it is that they're experiencing. So being able, really that awareness and being able to recognize, okay, I'm having this urge too. And we're not, it's really kind of that acceptance piece of it. We're not at this point, I mean, it may be necessary later, but with mindfulness, we're not working on changing anything. So we're not saying to change that urge, to not have that urge, to change your thinking about that urge. There's no change involved with it. It's really just awareness of that urge that you're having. So whether that urge is to go use substances, whether that urge is to cut, whether that urge is to, run over this person in front of me. We're really just working on mindfulness of that experience. And what I've found is once people can kind of get into that, just the awareness itself can typically reduce the intensity of that urge.
One of the things we do with clients in our DBT skills groups is to begin working on mindfulness of everyday activities. So an example might be a mindful bath or shower, or mindfulness while brushing the teeth. We use mindfulness of dishwashing because most people wash dishes. So to become very mindful and observe the sensations of the soap and the sponge, and what does it feel like to have the contact of your hands with the dishes? What's the smell of the soap? Can you feel your feet touching the floor right in this moment? Can you be aware of the sounds of the water, the sounds of the contact between the water and the dishes? And if our mind wanders, which it normally does, we simply bring it back to right here, right now, what's going on in this moment.
When I think mindfulness, I think Jimmy. You have a very dedicated practice. You have a very kind of open experience when you lead meditations in our dialectical behavior therapy team. It's always so, I think it helps everyone in the room get to a deeper level. You have a very genuine practice, I think. The other big contributions that I think you make to our team is your willingness to have an open mind. We have those DBT agreements at the beginning and those ways that we think about ourselves as practitioners and our clients. And I think that your observations that you make in team, the questions that you pose for people, consistently bring us back to that middle path place. And I think that's a priceless contribution to our team.